Hello everyone, Tommy Marquez here in the Inside Elite Fitness studio. After a tough performance in 19.1, Noah Ohlsen has been tasked with trying to climb his way back up into a qualifying spot these last 4 weeks. I had the chance to catch up with the 2018 sixth fittest man on earth and talk about his 2019 season.
Noah, thank you so much for joining me today. We're going to jump right into it. So taking a look at the overall standings with the Open and how some of the backfills play out, it's looking like you're not going to get a qualifying spot from the Open and potentially not the backfill invite from Wodapalooza. With that in mind, what would you say your plan is now, kind of looking forward to the rest of the season and some of the sanctionals?
Yeah, unfortunately, it's looking like that is not going to pan out. But I think that as we've kind of gone through the season step by step, I didn't want to make a plan for what was next, just because I feel like that would almost be like putting bad energy out there, you know, assuming, hey, if I don't qualify through Wodapalooza, then there's this. And if I don't qualify through the Open, then there's this. So I tried not to do that. And I don't think that'll leave me scrambling by any means. I think now I've got a little bit of time to sit down and map out what competitions make the most sense to go compete in. And that's definitely the plan. I've seen a couple people post like revamping for October, and that's definitely not my plan. I'm going to be at this year's CrossFit Games. So just a matter of finding out how.
And just kind of off the back, I know you mentioned a few. Is there any sanctioned event that you kind of got circled like, I would like to be at that one?
Yeah, I mean, there are a couple of convenient ones that are close. There's the Mid-Atlantic CrossFit Championships, which I believe they didn't do invites for Games athletes, and I wasn't able to do the qualifier because it was the week after Wodapalooza. So I don't know if somehow I'll be able to wiggle my way into that one, but another local one would be the Rogue Invitational, which is in Ohio in May. And then May kind of seems like a good time to go and compete because that's when regionals used to be. So I feel like my body will be used to that. My girlfriend will also be on a little summer break from PT school. So we may be able to do a little traveling. I know that there's one in Iceland that happens to be on my birthday. There's one in the Netherlands. There's one other one, Brazil, I believe, is right around May as well. So it seems like one of those will probably be the pick for me.
Great. And so now taking a step back, maybe looking at the Open, obviously we're just through the 5 weeks of the 2019 Open. What's your honest reflection on these last 5 weeks and kind of how the Open went for you?
Yeah, it's been interesting because the past, what has it been, probably 6 years, this has been my worst Open finish. And it's unfortunate because this is the year that the Open matters the most. But I think going back through all 5 workouts, there's only one that stands out as kind of the outlier, which is the first workout that didn't go well. And I really needed to make a charge up the leaderboard for the 4 weeks following that. And I feel like I did the best job that I could in order to accomplish that. I still had hope going into the final week that it was going to be enough to pull off the comeback. But after 19.4, I think I took 3rd overall on that one. And I was really excited to see how far up that would bump me. And all the scores went in and I was like, oh, okay, there's still a big old 400-point gap there. So probably not going to happen. But, you know, man, that first workout that kept me out, I didn't feel at the time like it was that bad of a performance. You know how sometimes you do a workout and you're like, I didn't do that bad there. And then the leaderboard starts updating and you're like, yes, in fact, I did do quite poorly there. Rowing and wall balls have never been my favorite movements. So to smash those together wasn't the best way to start off the Open, but it's all good. It's in the past and I'm ready to move onward and upward on to the next.
And so it's a great attitude, obviously. And I know you always have a pretty good attitude, but
try.
Yeah. So looking now maybe at the season as a whole, we're through some sanctioned events, which you've taken part in. We're through the Open, which we just finished up as well. Kind of what are your thoughts on the system now, having been through a good portion of it?
I still haven't fully formulated my thoughts and opinions on this CrossFit Games season. I don't know if anybody has yet. There still are a lot of unknowns and things that we're kind of figuring out as we go. I don't know, man. It's been interesting to see. I would be lying if I told you it wasn't frustrating to look at the leaderboard and see some of the national champions that just got their bid to the games and every single one of my scores being a certain level higher than them. You know, it's tough, but that just is the way it is this year, and they earned their spots the way that CrossFit intended them to this season. So I've just got to do it another way. And I think I've been saying this the whole time since the changes have been announced. I think all of us are going to have to wait until the games are over this year to look back and say, okay, this is what the CrossFit Games looks like now. And I kind of like this, kind of don't like this as much, but it's still working itself out, it seems.
And this may be even going a step too far, because I think you gave a great answer in terms of kind of evaluating the season. From an athlete perspective, you guys kind of have a unique viewpoint from the rest of us. Is there something that you would hope to see maybe in future iterations of this system that you think could most benefit the athletes?
You know, my buddy Alex Anderson actually had a really great idea we were chatting about at Wadapalooza, and I can't remember the exact details of what his plan would be, but I think that he had suggested possibly taking the top 3 athletes from each sanctioned event. And I don't remember. At the time, it sounded great, and it seemed like a more clear view of what people are capable of, you know? So I think the Open is still, a lot of people are kind of wishy-washy and will be unsure about people's level of competency going into the games, never having actually seen them perform in person. So I don't know if there's any way around that, but I guess, like I said, we'll see as things start to unfold for the rest of the season.
So now we're done with the Open, got a little bit of downtime. How are you going to spend the next couple of weeks? What do they look like for Noah Ohlsen?
Yeah, I definitely need to take some time to kind of recoup and rest a little bit, do some reflection, and kind of devise my plan and get ready to attack it. I think I've already got my mind set up to do that. I haven't started doing it yet, but I think that definitely giving myself a little bit of time off rather than just grinding through it. The Open was tough for everybody, I would imagine. It was probably the most stressful one that I've dealt with to date in terms of having to come back from that finish, doing all the workouts twice, and I definitely could use some time to heal mentally and physically, as I'm sure everybody has. I feel like we earned it. So after this week is up, hopefully we've got the plan locked in and I can start getting ready for whatever's next.
Right on. Well, I certainly wish you the best, and I hope you take that rest as needed. You certainly deserve it. Thanks again, man, for joining me and chatting with me today, and we'll catch up soon.
My pleasure. I like the new digs. I'm proud of you guys and what you're doing. Keep it up.
Thanks, man.
If you guys are watching this on YouTube and you haven't already, scroll down and smash that subscribe button to stay up to date with all of our news and latest videos. Also, head on over to our website, InsideEliteFitness.com, and please subscribe to our podcast, Talking Elite Fitness. You can find that on Google Play, on Apple Podcasts, on Spotify, or wherever you listen to your favorite podcasts.